So we're going to talk about how to unlearn and relearn the difference between good and bad. And if what's good for you is really good, and if what's bad for you is really bad. We're not waiting for opportunity, we create an opportunity. We're not waiting for opportunity, we create an opportunity. Hope y'all remember that. Eat that. You know what I mean? Meditate on that. You know what I mean? Take that with you. Know what I mean? So, what I want to talk about is how we may think things that are bad that's happening is really not something bad that's happening. It might be something that's good that's happening. And things that's good that's happening may not be something that's good. And what happens is, to go through that, you're going to have to relearn certain thought processes, behaviors, and habits in you. And this is also can affect your goals. Because again, like stated in the previous video, if you go check it out, you have to know yourself in order to know your goals. And you may have to adjust yourself and change yourself in order to get to a true goal. So a lot of us sometimes realize, we may say, man, I'm glad I went through that because it created an experience in me that I learned something, I became stronger, or I'm so proud of myself that I got through it. Now, those are for the rational people who've probably had a great deal of experience or spoken to a lot of wise people who helped them understand the difference of what they were going through. But for a lot of us on a regular, that's not what it is. We're happy that we got through it. We hope it doesn't happen again. We get stressed out thinking about it, and we get worried that it's going to happen again. And that's how a situation to me is made bad, even though it wasn't bad to begin with. Because to me, it's not good and bad. To me, there's no good and bad. To me, is it, did you learn or did you not learn? And if you didn't, you're probably going to go through it again, and you're probably going to have the same effects every time until you learn from it. And you still probably go through it again after you learn from it, but it won't bother you because you know how to adapt to it and to adjust to it and to prepare for it. So, example of things getting bad, right? Let's use food. Let's use food because we all like to eat, right? We're human, right? You know, we're human. First thing our body tries to do is what? Eat, right? So, we'll eat things, for example, and it tastes good. It tastes damn good. Like, oh, man, right? And we'll eat it. And then later on, you find out it has too much starch, it's too much carbs, bad carbs, salt, sugar, things like that that you cannot have excessively in your life. But it tastes so good to you. So you like, man, I'm gonna have it twice a week then, or I'll just have it on the weekends, or whatever the case may be. And you go to the doctor and you get a report that you gotta stay away from this like altogether. Your blood pressure's high. You have your potential to have diabetes. You're a candidate for it. You understand? You're at risk of a heart attack. Any kind of cardiac disease, I should say, not just a heart attack. And you're wondering why. Even before that, you're feeling sluggish after you eat the meal. You're feeling sluggish the next day. Your brain's not moving the best way it should because you indulged in this food that tastes really good and looked really good because your taste acquired the look to it now, right? The behavior. And it was great. It was a great night. But the next day you're hurting, right? Or that evening you're hurting. It's compared to foods that we say don't taste good. Some people don't like asparagus, broccoli, carrots, vegetables in general. Like the vegan, right? I think it's vegan. They do a lot of mushrooms in their food. People like mushrooms. I don't like mushrooms, right? I'm not a big mushroom guy. But I know for a lot of vegans, they use mushrooms as a meat for what they make food with, right? To supplement for the meat. So for me, it's like I feel that they're stronger because they have the discipline and they acquire the taste, but it's something at first is like, this flavor, this is weird. And you say it's bad, right? But it's not bad, it's good for you. It's good for you, it's helping you. It's strengthening you. It's giving you the antibodies you need in your body, right? It's giving your system a stronger immune system to fight. It's helping your digestive system flow properly. So it's helping you to use more energy in your brain than in your stomach. Because also, people tend to feel like they fast. They look at it as a spiritual heightening, which is fine. But what happened is truly is that most of your energy goes to getting the food out of your stomach. That's what most of your energy goes to. Food coming from working on that food to get it broken down correctly, to go where it has to go, whatever the parts of nutrition has to go wherever it goes, the fat goes wherever it goes, to disposing of it. That's majority of your energy goes to. So when you're fasting, you're not eating like that. You're only drinking water or having certain kind of meals that don't have that effect on you, or no meal at all. And a lot of your energy is going where? It's going back to your head. It's going all the way up here. All the energy is going up there now. So you're thinking a lot more. So you're more in tune with what's going on, right? So just by eating something bad that we think was bad, and then developing a different lifestyle from it and learning something different, we gain a bigger strength in our mind. We gain a stronger strength in our mind. We gain a better self. We have more strength from the mind because we already know, even in the gym, right? It's 80% mind, 20% body. If the mind could do it, the body will follow, right? So, like I said, with the food itself, look how I just told you, just by eating bad food, what could happen, right? Or what we think is bad food, right? And then what we think tastes good. But then you have people now who look at you when you eat those food and say that's bad food to them because the mind of where they were at. So I say that to say this is that the main thing I want to talk about is when you go through what you're going through, don't look at it as a bad thing. Don't worry upon it too much. I'm not telling you you're not going to go through a response. You're going to have a response. You're human. You're going to have a response, and you're allowed to have a response. So if a person has a problem with you having a response to going through your time, they can kiss your what? You understand? Because you're allowed to go through that. All I tell you is fix up. All right? Fix up. Go through what you got to go through, but know you got to fix up and get it together. Okay? Don't stay. What happens, people stay there and they never fix up. So when things happen to you and you're going through it and it seems like there's no end, you need to remember and look at, why is this happening right now? What could I have done differently? What can I do differently? What can I learn from this if I didn't even do anything? What is this trying to awaken in me or around me or to whoever's around me or what's around me? What can I use this as in order for me to have more tools to be wiser and stronger, right? Because I remember going to a few funerals for 2021. And all the elders were so calm. Like all the people in the 80s and 90s, they were so calm. And some of these funerals I went, they were close, like mother and daughter and stuff like that. And they were so calm that you just buried your daughter. And I didn't understand that. And the only thing I could understand from that, because no one wants to bury their child, is that age, the experience that has taught that person and what that person has learned and the strength that person developed through the experience of life, of probably a lot of tragedies, of things that happening, throughout that time period. Not saying, she just went through a bunch of stuff in her life of tragedies, but compiling it, being 90-something years old, you've seen a lot. You've been through a lot of the cycle of this stuff we call life. And it made her stronger. So her response to it was different. Her feeling towards it was different. And that also made me realize that she was a stronger woman because she allowed her experiences to shape her into something better than into just the norm of just being sad and crying, ungrateful and this and that and angry and just a weak individual. Because we all have weaknesses, but when you become a weak individual is when you give up to your emotions. A lot of us out here, a lot of us guys out here are very sensitive, me and myself included. Back in the day, I thought it was very important to be the toughest guy, be all these things, right? Because everybody out there was doing it. I'm trying to be tough, and I'm not going to let you roll over on me or whatever the case is, right? But all of that was guys being like that. And anger, attitude, are all emotions. You can't say they're not. So a lot of men these days, past, few decades, or who will know how long, it's been very emotional. And I was talking to my cousin about that, and he was like, he's like, a lot of us out here right now, he's out of that because he's not his mind frame anymore. He's like, you guys are very emotional. You're very sensitive. So you're very reactive. Because for you to be that reactive and, have this anger and this tough guy syndrome is an emotion because it's coming from an anger. It's coming from some kind of emotion and feeling that jarred up in you, trauma, whatever you want to call it. And it's because the experiences that we experience, we placed good or bad on it, compared to trying to allow us to understand or overstand what it was to develop us to be stronger. And then to use that as a template to move forward with other situations. Because like you hear people say all the time, sometimes the street and a business is no different. It's just the protection on it is different, right? The laws on it is different. How people will deal with you is different. But at the end of the day, it's business, right? It's business. So you have to take the opportunity to look at yourself, look at your situations. I don't know if it's somebody you lost in your family. I don't know if you lost a bunch of money. I don't know if you're down on your luck. I don't know if you just went poor. I don't know if you just went homeless. I don't know what it might have been. I don't know if you don't have your mom and dad. I don't know if you and your husband, whatever the case is, you and your wife, I don't know. But I'm urging you from now, to look at it and shine a light on yourself. To know what it is, why this happened, what can you learn from it? Not just, that person's this and that, these people are like this and that. No, that's not what I'm talking about. You can recognize that, that's fine. But I mean to say, how can this develop you? How can this make you stronger? How can this make you wiser? How can this advance your steps? Right? Because like I said, you're going to go through the responses and you're going to feel a way. You're going to be hurt. You're going to be upset. You're going to be angry. You're going to go through all of these different cycles, right? But you got to fix up. You can't allow it just to keep going and going and going, or trying to sweep it under the rug, because it's going to come back. And we have to figure out how we're going to handle that. Because if you don't handle it, it's going to come back again, or it's going to haunt you for the rest of your life in every relationship or any goals or every day. When you're just feeling good out of nowhere, you'll feel bad because it came right back, because you never handled it. So it can always stick his head out and poke out real quick and piss you off or hurt you or bring you to tears or mess you up off your day, trip you up off your game. So let's not be looking at everything as good and bad. Look at it as, what can I do? What should I learn from this? Look at people who knew about war, right? Who family knew about war and was in wars. You see a lot. They'll have bunkers. They have all this water ready. They have their guns and ammunitions. They teach their kids how to shoot. They put them in self-defense classes. They have these exit and safety routes and things like that. And nothing ever happened. But the kids are always prepared. So the kids were never in fear when things happened, when they got older. They just kept on passing it down and passing it down. So now the fear of something happening never was a fear to them. It was like, I'm ready. Because whatever that great-grandfather, great-grandmother back in the day went through, said, okay, now we're going to put this in place so they don't have to go through what we felt. And we're not going to go through this again either. Right? So we don't be responsive. Right? We're proactive. Because once you go through something, you learn something, you're no longer responsive. Right? You're proactive. You're putting certain disciplines in your mind and in your body and in place for you to be prepared. Because I'm telling you, once one thing stops, this is what my father told me, right? And me and my father developed a great relationship as an adult now. You know, I feel him as a very wise man, you know? And that was also because of me learning what we went through. But what he told me was, he said, let me tell you something. Just because this one thing stopped, he said, I'm letting you know there's more coming. There's more coming. It's not over. So if you look at it as bad things, there's more bad to come. There's more bad to come. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? It's not gonna stop. So every time you get hit with something, it's bad. Oh my God, it's bad. And you put that in your mind, you have to unlearn that word, good and bad, in that concept. You know, I'm just telling you, because even if you have an issue with somebody and you're like, nah, that's not a bad person, but I don't like this quality, that quality, and that quality. And that doesn't mesh with me. So it's not going to work. It's not that's a bad person. That just don't work for you. That may work for them. And may be justly right for them. But that may not be right for you. That don't mean they're a bad person. That just means, or they're not grown up enough to have self-discipline, whatever it might be. So I'm telling you, stop looking at things as good and bad and start looking at your life as an experience. You know, as life. That's what it is. You live in it. So learn from it. Enjoy it. Bear witness to it. You know, we all want to bear witnesses religiously. Bear witness to your own life. Look at your own windows and enjoy what you see and what you're learning and what you've overcome and where you are. Because if you don't, you're going to be living a depressive, very depressed life, or anxiety filled, or angry, and be very responsive to everything and very tired. So, you know, I know this was a long one, but I just wanted to tell you guys that. And I think it's important you know that your life is an experience. It's not good or bad, no matter how tragic it might be, right? No matter how the trauma might be. Because you're still here. You made it through. You made it through. Some people probably couldn't. That's why they didn't go through it. So look at your life as experiences, learn from them, enjoy them, allow them to make you stronger so you can build more for yourself. So you know what it is. I'm going to see you guys again. And you know what I'm saying and how I'm saying it and how I'm coming with it. We're not waiting for opportunity. We create an opportunity. We're not waiting for opportunity. We create an opportunity. All right, I'm going to catch y'all.